G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the Machine Wars Megatron. Now, I bought this guy roughly around the same time as Beast Wars Rat Trap. I believe I mentioned that in the last review. Um, I initially bought this guy because I never had Megatron growing up. I had Starscream, I had Optimus Prime, I had Hot Rod. I have more than a few others, but I never, ever actually had a Megatron. So when I saw this guy for sale, I'm like, you know what? I need to get me a Megatron. This is back when I was still a kid playing with toys. There was no collecting aspect. It was just, I want a Megatron. Even though my Optimus Prime had seen much, much better days. And I think I'd actually been playing with G2 Optimus Prime by that point. So I did a quick Google to find out at least a quick bit of details of what exactly happened with Machine Wars, because I only knew it as the toy line that this Megatron came from. I didn't know the actual aspect of it. Like I said in the Beast Wars review, Rat Trap review, I didn't understand the whole continuity thing. All I knew was Transformers were Transformers, they were now Beasts, and I was also finding them as different vehicles. So Megatron going from his gun to this. But from what I was able to Google, basically, Machine Wars was an attempt after the success of Beast Wars to try and get the Transformers back into vehicle modes. So you had, Megatron here. So I'm assuming at this point in Hasbro's history, we lost Gun Megatron easily by this point. We didn't even have Gun Megatron for G2. We had Tank Megatron, and now we had a jet, which is ironically, I think, a Raptor, if I remember correctly, before I transform it. So yeah, Machine Wars was an attempt to get back into vehicle modes, but it didn't last very long. It didn't last very long. And I think basically the next big step in Transformers Evolution was probably alternators, which was probably a couple of years after this. So as far as I know, they didn't go very well. I think they only had like one wave. There was, I think, from what I remember seeing of the wiki page, there was like 8, 10 Transformers, and surprisingly, Megatron didn't even make the what would have been basically the deluxe or Voyager class. He made basically the Scout class, or he's not quite small enough to be core class. So yeah, I finally got myself a Megatron, and it wasn't the Megatron, but it was a Megatron. So he does look pretty good. The packaging, from what I also read in the thing, and I slightly remember, although my brain probably is wrong, I remember the packaging had Megatron silver, which would make sense because Megatron was silver. So why he ended up as a blue color, I don't know, but yeah, we do have a blue Megatron. So yeah, he has got a fairly decent head sculpt. I know I don't usually go into that sort of stuff, but he does have a fairly Megatronic head sculpt. He does have an attempt for light piping, but there is no light piping. That's just solid plastic. So you can't light his eyes up. It's either solid plastic or it's painted. I want to say it's might be painted. But yeah, if that was supposed to actually have a light piping gimmick, it went straight out the window. So there we go. He does look pretty good. Like I said, he was my first Megatron. Later on, I got MP36. So he is my stand-in Megatron now. So yeah. Also, no fusion cannon. He has this Uzi type silence thing, which you can split apart, which we'll get to in a second. So we'll just take the gun out of his hands for a moment, and we will do some articulation. Head can't do a full 360. It goes side to side. It feels like it's a ball joint, and I think it actually is. But due to the way his collar works and his cheek covers, it doesn't let you go full weight. He doesn't really look up, and he doesn't really look down. So maybe it's not a ball peg. Maybe it's a mushroom peg. I just can't quite see. Maybe I'll see it better in transformation. Arms can do a full 360. There's ball joints, so ball joints were absolutely everywhere now. Beast Wars had done ball joints, so now we were seeing ball joints everywhere. Arm goes out that far. We do have elbow rotation / bicep rotation with a ball joint there. Elbow goes up that far. Nothing at the wrist, nothing at the fingers, nothing at the thumb. There is no waist swivel due to transformation, and I would be shocked if it had waist swivel in the first place, considering, like I said, Rat Trap's considering Rat Trap in the last episode didn't even have a waist swivel, and I'm not sure if many other Beast War figures had it. I don't even think my Quick Strikes got it. Maybe one day I'll do that one too. He does have upper thigh rotation. There is a ball peg there. You have knee rotation, because there is a ball peg back there as well. Leg goes up that far, can go forward that far, and can only go back that far due to most of the jet sitting on his back. His knee can bend that far, and preferably focused. He has no ankle tilt or feet of any kind. It's just one solid piece of plastic, and it's not really angled either. So there we go. So as for the gun, like I said, it can separate. So you can have it two parts. You can have this like this or this. It does store. Yes, it actually has weapon storage. So we were starting to get into weapon storage. You can put it either side. You have these two pegs ports back here. Just plug the handle into the back there. The gun itself is the most secure out of the two pieces, and that's just due to where age, if I can get in. And then you take the front piece and you plug that in here the best you can, and chances are that'll probably fall out, so just be aware of that, because it is rather loose. I could probably know how to polish that up, I just don't see the need for it. Alright, transformation. Very, very simple. Once again, very like Rat Trap-ish. So all you're going to do is you're going to flip up all this, and the whole lower torso comes with it. And that will tab into place up here. You then take your feet, and all you do is these grooves go into these. They do not tab in. They do not lock in. They just sit there, and then you can just angle them so these pieces are sitting on the side. As for the hands, you just rotate this piece outwards, like so. Like I said, things don't tab in. And if you want to stand, you can pull this piece down to give you your front wheel and come in here and flip these down for your lower wheels. I don't know what my brain was going there. But yeah, there we go. There is Machine Wars Megatron in his jet mode. And it is a nice jet mode. So this predates Bayformer's Starscream as a Raptor. So there you go. Now, there could have been other figures. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a few G2 figures that actually came before. I'm just trying to think. I might have seen one, but I didn't own it. So yeah, even before, so we've had Megatron and at least, I want to say, one other character in Transformers before Starscream ever became an F-22 Raptor. So there we go. It would have looked better in the silver still. We do have this sort of whitewash on the blue. I'm assuming that's meant to simulate some sort of air turbulence, current, whatever you want to call it. The symbols on his wings don't make a lot of sense. That's something I haven't pointed out. He has no Decepticon logos. There is no Decepticon logos on this figure. It's just these two, and that's it. So there we go. We can do a size comparison. Here he is with Windblade. As you can see, very tiny. Like I said, he's not, I wouldn't call him deluxe, but at the same time, I wouldn't call him core class. I'm going to go with using the old term scout class. So yeah, he is pretty small by comparison to Windblade. Actually, you know what? I've got Vispa, and I used the term correctly this time. Still here, so just give me a second. So here is Vispa, which I'm assuming is basically modern core class. So yeah, he's not core class he's old school Scout. Maybe old. I'm trying to think what we used to be between Scout and Deluxe. I say there was one, but I can't remember. Someone in the comments let me know what the actual old terminology was. I can't remember. So, we can get him back into his robot mode. And of course, nothing's untabbing. We will put the wheels back up, even though one of these wants to keep popping down. We can bring these out a little bit. Can't really, I was going to say, you might be able to see the head, but not so much. Oh, something I keep forgetting to do, and I really need to do it with my other Jetfires too. He does have, especially if we spin the arms around, he does have a Gerwalk mode. It's not stable, but he does have a Gerwalk mode. So there's that. So all you're going to do is pop this, and this is something I'll show you. When I pop this, this actually slides. So there you go. And of course the barrel for that. So this does slide up a bit. So you can actually mess with that a bit. I don't think it was necessary, but it's kind of cool. And there we go. There is Megatron back in his robot mode, and his wheels are not going to stay in. This is not toy 97, 98, I want to say. I got him, give or take, a few years. Oops. Got him from my local toy store. Considering there was, yes, we did have online purchases, more phone order purchases, catalogs and whatnot. You know, the idea of getting onto some online toy store and ordering something was, you know, a dream. I can still remember, and it might not have been for the rest of the world, but at least it was in my little school. I remember when we only had one computer that had dial-up. The computer studies department had dial-up as well. But if you wanted to use the internet in the library, there was one computer. You had to book in to actually use it for 5 minutes. And of course, most of that 5 minutes you spent waiting for the actual dial-up to work. So there is that. There's some history for you. And of course, then you can unplug this or grab the other piece, which I'll just put aside. And you can, of course, arm him up. So there we go. And file size comparison. And this is going to be a bit absolutely ridiculous, all things considered. Here he is with MP10. So yeah, he's teeny tiny. And even compared to G1 and G2 Optimus, he was way small. I don't know why they made Megatron this small. I don't know why they didn't make him a bigger mold. But hey, I got a Megatron. That's all I can say. I was happy. So there we go. So if you've seen my recent video on my announcement video, that's the word I was thinking of. I mentioned that these reviews are now going to be every 2 weeks, just because of the slowly reducing number of figures that I have left to review. I have plans to do a lot more reviews. I just need the figures for them. But eventually, of course, it'll come to a time where I will have all the figures I want, and that'll be it. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes for the next 2 weeks. Hopefully, will stick with me and, all that. For some reason, I hope my brain wants to go, I hope you appreciate it, but that just seems like I'm full of myself and I'm just condescending. But I just hope you will stick with me. I will be doing all my other stuff too. But I as I said in that short video, I do want to keep these videos going longer. So a little bit of a gap is what's going to be needed. But if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.